This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We have some very important news today that's happening on the global stage, and it's getting no attention from the mainstream media, or even the alternative media for that matter, because right now, while everyone is focused on the inauguration of Donald Trump, 500 NATO troops, mostly from Germany, have been deployed to Lithuania as part of this enhanced forward presence in the Baltics. So why is this so important? Well, in this video today, we're going to break this down for you and explain what this means geopolitically, because at this point, more NATO soldiers are expected at the end of February, and this is going to comprise a total of about 600 troops in Lithuania. And of course, alongside these troops, they've got 26 tanks, 170 military vehicles, including Marder armored vehicles and Leopard 2 tanks. And they're stationed about 100 kilometers away from Kaliningrad, Russia, which is in between Poland and Lithuania. Now, of course, one of the last acts that the Obama administration pulled off before it left its office was to move U.S. troops, about 4,000 of them, and their tanks, into Poland and other Eastern European countries like Bulgaria and Romania, as we reported here. I'll include links in the description. In a move dubbed Operation Atlantic Resolve, the military buildup was praised in the Western corporate state media that is still peddling this establishment lie that fewer and fewer are believing. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called this recent NATO move the biggest reinforcement since the Cold War, repeating false claims that all of this is necessary because of so-called Russian aggression. But not everyone in Germany is happy about the situation. There's opposition party leaders who are slamming NATO's escalation with Russia. One of them is saying, tanks do not create peace. And of course, any opposition to this liberal international order, as Joe Biden just called it at Davos, is not going to be tolerated by the globalists. Already there's signs in the fake news media that Russia is planning on hacking the German election now. And any German populism, especially German populism, is going to be denounced as just undue Russian influence. So this so-called liberal world order is really nothing more than the fascist New World Order. And they're not going to go down without a fight, folks. This election win for Trump does not change the long-term picture. The real threats come from the awakened masses, the people who are changing the mainstream narrative, and they're revealing the truth behind this liberal world order. But the question is, how much pushback can we generate before things escalate beyond repair? I mean, Russia has made it very clear that they're not just going to sit idly by while NATO builds up its military around Russia's borders. I mean, just think about it like this. Would the U.S. accept a Russian buildup along Mexico's or Canada's borders? And what if Russia pledges to help build the wall? And right now, with Russia placing its missiles in reaching distance of Berlin, this Cold War really could turn hot. Just because we avoided a direct U.S.-Russian war in the 20th century does not mean we're going to avoid one in the future. This tension between the U.S. and Russia has been building up since at least the late 19th century. And of course, with Trump in the White House, things are uncertain, especially in regards to his friendly relations with Putin. Both these men like the sounds of a Cold War nuclear buildup for old time's sake. But folks, one man in Washington, D.C. cannot decimate the deep state. He can, however, be a very useful populist puppet in order to help cement some final plans for world government. Because while Trump is pumping up national patriotism, the real solutions here lie in decentralization. They lie in states' rights and jury nullification, and ending the Fed, not auditing it, bringing the troops home, and pulling out of the United Nations and out of NATO. So only time is going to tell which side of history Trump is going to end up on. But one thing I know for sure is that a Trump presidency is going to end up taking the blame for all of the economic fallout that we've seen over the last 17 years. I mean, the globalist establishment is going to continue on with or without the United States. And in fact, it might be easier without them, at least initially. So the truth of the matter here, folks, is a severe deep depression can be resolved within about a decade if interest rates are allowed to rise and savers are no longer punished. If free markets return, even temporarily, humanity is going to be able to pick itself up and recover. But at this time, while humanity is distracted with economic depression, a world government can then fill in as the replacement for the U.S. empire. And that, of course, is and always has been the end game here, folks. But it certainly does not have to be that way. We need to remember that this system is designed in a pyramidal structure. So, yes, the globalist puppet string pullers are currently at the top. But it is all of us who make up the base of this, unwittingly, for the most part. But when a large portion of the masses finally wake up and say enough is enough, and they remove themselves from taking part in this system in any way, well, the whole thing is going to come crashing down, and that's going to be such a glorious day, folks, one I greatly look forward to. And I hope you're going to join us here on the right side of history when all this goes down. If you join us as a PFT member or a PFT patron, you're not only supporting this independent media outlet, but you are taking a stance against the corporate elitist establishment that seeks to control you through fear and hate. But we have the numbers. And the good news, folks, is when we stand together strong, they will be defeated. So be sure to share this video if it resonates with you, and don't forget to click that little bell button to ensure that you don't miss anything from us, and check the links in the description to find out how you can donate or you can join us here as a member. And stay tuned, folks, we're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.